Okay guys, welcome to Talking News, Chasing a Murderer. Please like and subscribe right now. Do it right now guys, so you don't forget. Also hit that notification bell if you would like notifications. So right now we're kind of doing a follow-up story on this news story that we covered just a few days ago, and that's on a few women that are coming out of North Carolina, and it's Paige and Stephanie. So this is Wilmington, North Carolina. This is a port city in North Carolina, so it's known as the gateway to the Cape Fear Coast beaches like the Wrightsville, which is also known for its strong surf. So, you know, they have a ton of boardwalks and these little bars that set across from the water. It's a really cute area. So Stephanie Magora is only 27, Paige Escalera is 25. And so they ended up disappearing around April 15th or mid-April under suspicious circumstances. Now, according to Stevie Jenkins, which is Escalera's sister, she said that Escalera and Mayorga had actually just met not long ago. They moved in together at the beginning of March, and they were just actually engaged just a few weeks ago. We're also learning that they moved in with a roommate. They didn't know this girl very well, and she would play a role in this case, and you'll hear shortly. Now, how did these girls come up missing? Well, it's that roommate. The roommate ended up filing a missing persons report after not seeing the couple for 3 days. According to Escalera's sister Jenkins, she added that this relationship was still very new. They had only lived there a week before they went missing. Now, what's really strange about this is they said that Escalera's phone was left behind on the couple's bed. And so when the sister was trying to find out where her, sister had gone, what happened to her, they really didn't find much information other than when she was snooping through her Facebook and stuff like that. She said, she contacted a few close friends. They hadn't heard from her. And that she also noticed that all of those friends, every single one of them, had been blocked from her social media over the last week or two. She also went on to say that it was normal for her not to hear from her sister because she was kind of estranged from her family. They weren't getting along that well. They weren't seeing each other that often. The sister also said that she spoke with a few of Stephanie's friends, and they said it isn't normal for her not to contact other people that that's involved with her life. Now, once they contacted the police and they filed that missing persons report, they found out through Captain Thomas Tillman that the surveillance footage showed a couple leaving their Wilmington home and driving in a gray 2013 Dodge Dart. Now, this car had 2 stickers on the back windshield and a South Carolina plate. Now, what's interesting is Tillman described the disappearance as suspicious based on undisclosed information received in the last week. I think a lot of people, when this case first, broke, they were kind of pointing their finger towards the roommate, but really, this roommate didn't even know the women's last names. She hardly knew them. She didn't know their social media information or anything like that. People were kind of concerned, why didn't she let the police know sooner? Well, there you go, guys. She didn't know them that well. Not only that, guys, she didn't realize, or he, I don't know if it's a he or she, because I didn't go that detailed in this, that you can make a report before 48 hours. But the most important thing is the roommate did finally file that report. So at this point, Jenkins is in, a lot of media articles. She's trying to paint a picture of who her sister is. And some of that information was that she dropped out of high school and recently had gotten her GED. In fact, she was attending college. Her sister also said that this point in her life, I guess she's pretty much showing, she's getting her stuff together, and she's also reaching out to her family. They had actually just gotten contact and were rekindling their relationship when she disappeared. Police come out and started talking. I think there was a conference on April 29th, And they said that when they went through the cell phone that was left behind, it appeared to be normal. Stephanie's phone, however, was no longer on. That's what they suspected. But according to police, the circumstances surrounding their disappearance seemed unusual. And of course, the reason for that is, number one, they had no plans, like nothing was missing from the house, suggesting that perhaps they were on a trip. And the most suspicious of all things is there was no card activity, so no money was being spent for gas or anything. It was like these two girls just absolutely dropped from the face of the earth. But everyone understood that this was not a good sign. There was nothing that these investigators were finding that was anything to point in a direction that they were most likely okay. In my video prior to this, I suggested that most likely, because I cover so many of these cases, this seemed like a case that most likely this would be a car in a ditch or in a woods somewhere. And so the focus would be the car. I mean, the car was probably the easiest thing to find, you know, in this case. Whereas people can hide in places, cars, it's a little bit more difficult to hide a car. It was just a day or two that I put that video up that one of our family members, Nikki R., you know who you are, Nikki. I want to thank you for sharing this information because I really didn't have time that day to search. She found that some new information that police had uncovered a car fitting that description of these two girls. And they found this car deep in a wooded area is what they're saying. So it was around May 5th or 6th that this car was found, and I think they said they found it around 3 p.m. outside of the Watermark Marina with two identified bodies inside. The car's make was a gray 2013 Dodge Dart, the same exact car pictured here. It's also the same exact car that the girls were last seen driving. So this area that they found it, or the scene, is near the intersection of River Road and Independence Boulevard. And, you know, police taped it off. They investigated, trying to find answers of what might have happened to these girls. And what they ended up suspecting right now, that's what they're looking at, is that this was a high velocity incident. So they suspect that this car was traveling at, you know, massive speeds and that's how they ended up so deep into the wooded area. But what is very interesting is there was a phone call to 911 reporting that they seen a car that possibly, they seen it through the rear view mirror. They said they seen a car that possibly hit a wall and might have went into the woods. So they said fire trucks, police, and EMS ended up going out to that area, but they, you know, they shined their lights, but they didn't find anything that night. So the same night that these girls disappear, a 911 call comes in saying that they see this car runs into a wall perhaps, and even into some deep woods. They didn't see anything. So this is kind of like a red flag for me, because there's two reasons why it's a red flag. So you have this rescue and emergency response teams going out to an area where someone said they seen somebody possibly hit a wall and go into the woods. Let's say that they don't find them that night because they are difficult to find. But finally there's a report about 3 to 4 days later that says, you know, they're looking for missing women. How in the world did investigators miss that 911 call? Because it's right there in that area. I mean, things were adding up. They didn't pack to leave to go anywhere. This was a prime clue. They could have found those girls at least 3 to 4 days later if they had truly investigated. So they seriously didn't look very deep into this case. This scares me because we rely on these people. We pay them with our taxes to do their job well. And it's either they can't do their job well because they're not trained, or they can't do their job well because they don't care. And so this is where my videos are different from the media's. I'm not afraid to point out where we have issues. This case should have been solved at the latest 4 days later. This is so disappointing to me, guys. Right now, we don't know. They haven't made a positive identification that it is the 2 girls that are missing, but most likely it is. We're waiting on the autopsy to come back. We're waiting on confirmation of, the exact cause of their death and all these things. But I am still absolutely shocked because I feel like they really could have did a better job on this case. Listen, guys, I come from a time where people cared about the job that they did. They cared about the people around them. And so every day when you went to work, you did your best. We have #1 malpractice in this country as a killer. That should not be. We need to find out answers to that. We have so many cases just like these girls that go unsolved when they're quite easy to solve. And we need to ask why. Our country is not doing like it should. I'm very upset about that. I'm very upset that they did not find her. Anyway, so I'm ranting a little bit today, guys, but that's okay. Once you do so many of these cases and you see these screw-ups that shouldn't even happen, eventually you're going to have a rage. So I'm very sad to hear that the girls are most likely found, but not the way that we wanted. Anyway, guys, I did want to update you. Let's give Nikki R a shout out. She helped us out on this one, and I really do appreciate her help. It made a huge difference. It helped me be able to keep up a little bit better on all these cases I cover. Anyways, guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching these videos. It helps these people that go missing. It helps get their stories out there. It just helps in so many ways I can't even tell you. So you guys stay safe out there. You know I love you, and I'll see you soon.